And thank everyone for coming to join us tonight to say goodbye to our town manager, Andrew Maylor. In the weeks leading up to today, we've had lots of opportunities to reflect on Andrew's time with us and all the great achievements that he's had. In his annual performance review, which we reviewed a few weeks ago in one of our selectmen meetings, we lauded the near completion of the facilities master plan that resulted in all of our beautiful new buildings and the strong financial practices that have led to our AAA bond rating. In the wake of the gas disaster, when our community was in the spotlight, we talked about Andrew's strong leadership on the night of the crisis and every day that followed in his negotiations with Columbia Gas to make sure we were all made whole. And in last night's, our Monday night selectmen meeting, we heard during our public comment period from many of the other leaders in the community about all of the skills and leadership that Andrew has brought to the table and helped them succeed and achieve success in their roles. Later in the meeting, we interviewed search committees to search firms to assist us in identifying the person that will fill Andrew's shoes. And after that, I think that we're going to be looking for Bigfoot. During our interviews, my colleagues asked, what are some of the trends in the industry of municipal government, and what are the key attributes that you think would make an effective town manager given those trends? And I thought it was really notable that they didn't mention strong financial skills or building project management or engineering skills. They mentioned collaboration, listening, and community engagement. They said you can always find someone with the tactical skills for the job, but it's much more difficult to find someone who can effectively engage the entire community and find consensus. So Andrew, I would add to your list of accolades, trendsetter. And I don't mean the hats that you wear to our holiday breakfast. I mean that you brought those intangible leadership characteristics to us 7 years ago. And that's really the thing that I want to celebrate tonight. It's your engagement with all of us in this room and all the citizens of North Andover that have led to so many great things and why we've been so successful. So I thank you for that. I say goodbye and I wish you the best of luck in your new work.
Miss Wynn is absolutely the best co-partner that I can have here. She always reminds me of all the things I forget to do. Like, hi, I'm Christina Minicucci. But I have come to know Andrew a little bit over the years, and when I first decided to move back to North Andover, I was a little bit nervous because North Andover was a little shaky, wasn't quite sure, like, is it going in the right direction? Like, does it have good leadership? And I was a little nervous when I first moved back. And then Andrew came on board, and I was like, this guy seems to be pretty good. I think that the town's going to move in the right direction. And then within a year, I was like, boy, this guy really knows what he's doing. And just like Regina said, it was more than just all of his tactical skills, I guess as you call them. He also had a really good way of getting people together and really being able to identify really good talent in the community. So that's something that you have brought and you will leave behind when you go. But do you have something to say? All right.
Hi, everyone.
We're like the comedy team.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tron. Excuse my voice, I'm just getting a cold and getting over a cold. I'm so happy to have gotten to know you for this short time. I wish you the best of luck. We're going to miss you as a comptroller, and as the chairwoman mentioned, your work during the gas crisis was phenomenal, and we are going to miss your leadership, and I do hope that we will continue the partnership in your new role. Thank you.
Yes. One of the things that is true of Andrew and all of you who know him is that he likes to follow things through to the end. So therefore, we know that you will make sure that Columbia Gas makes us whole and you will follow it through to the end. So we will be expecting to see you for visits in the future. So we just want to present you with this.
I've never been good at photos. Sorry, the representative's cold. I have eye problems. Don't worry about that. You guys are great. It's a bit of a scary crowd, but.
It's a bit of a scary crowd. They're throwing rose petals. You want to get started? You want me to start? All right. So, in case you don't know me, I'm State Senator Bruce Tarr, and very pleased to be here with the entire North Andover senatorial delegation, with Senator DiZoglio as well. And we are very happy to be here, but obviously it's a bit of a bittersweet moment. And so we have some citations as well for Andrew. Senator DiZoglio was giving me a hard time because she said I got here late, but that's because when I was leaving the State House, they were getting ready to put in a red carpet for somebody to walk in. And so
He always has an excuse. It's always a good one.
It's a good excuse.
Good excuse.
Oh, would you?
She was first here. I was here, I saw her.
But at any rate, I think it's fair to say that there's a lot of enthusiasm in the State House about Andrew coming into state government. And that enthusiasm is well placed, and I think it's certainly something that we all share. But at the same time, we're obviously going to miss our working relationship with him here as the town manager in North Andover. And you know, he's one of those guys that is absolutely amazing because he has a presence even when he's inconspicuous, right? And so he was over here in the corner, and I didn't even realize he was here, and he was holding court, and people were coming up to say, he's over there in the corner, like in the most secluded place he could possibly be. But he's also one of those guys who is never shy about telling you exactly what he thinks. But he does it in such a soft, level voice that it's very deceiving about what you are about to hear may not be the thing you want to hear. But the result of that is that he truly has approached municipal government in a workmanlike way. He rolled up his sleeves. One by one, he tackled the things that were priorities for the community. And he did it in a way that wasn't just to put his own stamp on it. It was so everyone could share in the effort and make sure that it was a community-wide effort. And that is something that you can never understate the value of because it builds not only great elements of town government, but it builds a great culture in a community. And this one has that. And so as Andrew departs this role, I know that we all are going to miss working with you in that regard. But boy, how good are we all going to sleep knowing that this is the guy that holds the state purse strings? There will be no dollar unaccounted for, no dollar lost. And in fact, I can't imagine, you know, we mentioned Columbia Gas. Think about the checks he's going to be getting from them for the state.
That's right.
But we all feel good about that. And I think it speaks a lot to his character, that he is so dedicated to public service, that he has done a phenomenal job here, and he will now move to state government and try to apply those skills to the very complicated and challenging job of making sure we stay on the right path with regard to state finances, because the comptroller job is a fairly unique one in that you have to be independent, exercise independent judgment, and remind everybody that they have to be fiscally prudent. And I couldn't think of a better person to do that with that very soft-spoken, direct voice. And hear it now. You're overspending. Don't do it anymore. And so I think we all appreciate that. And I will just say that for those of us that have had the honor of working with you in the legislative delegation, we really appreciate the way that you have dealt with us as a friend, and as someone who provides guidance, and as someone who always was on the other end of the phone saying, let's tackle this problem together, never dictating to us, and never asking more than you knew that we could deliver, because it always was a partnership. And it was always refreshing to get those calls. Sometimes the asks were very interesting. But at any rate, it has been a wonderful experience and a wonderful relationship. And I just want to say thank you not only for being a great public servant and doing so much for North Andover, but just being a really great symbol of public service and state municipal partnership. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Diane, and then we're going to have a couple of citations. So it's not over yet.
My favorite thing ever is following Senator Bruce Tarr to at events like these. The great orator, everybody. So when I heard that Town Manager Maylor was going to be moving on, I will summarize my thought process in this one line. Please don't leave us. I'm very excited that you're moving on to bigger and better things. We're very excited that he's actually going to be working right across the street from us. So we'll still have access to him as the legislative delegation, which is really exciting because he understands this area, all of our needs, all of our concerns. So it's nice to know that he will be within our reach, literally, and we will be in touch. I also love the fact that he is going to be in charge of the state's purse strings. So all I can say for the town of North Andover is make sure that you show us the money. Which we know that... It's been an honor and a privilege to work with you, and I just have to, while I talk about Town Manager Maylor, talk about your incredible staff, talk about Lori and everybody else, the Board of Selectmen, especially as it pertains to the Columbia gas crisis. And I know that a lot of us have been involved in this, and we've all played our role in this process, whether you were somebody that the incident impacted, whether you were a family member of somebody who was impacted, whether you were a friend of somebody who was impacted, or whether you were a worker in this community or a volunteer in this community. Everybody played their respective role, but this man right here, along with his staff and the Board of Selectmen, really, really, really showed up at a time when a lot of us, including your state legislators, didn't really know what to do. We weren't in charge of the local things that were happening. We needed guidance from our local people. Andrew was right there to make sure that we always knew what was happening, that we always knew what the residents' concerns were, that we were part of the conversations that were happening when Columbia Gas wasn't necessarily including all of us in those conversations. And he did it with, this man did this with such a limited staff in comparison with cities like Lawrence, for example. We were so proud of Town Manager Flanagan and Mayor Rivera and all the work that they did, and we all came together. But I can say I was just so proud of Town Manager Maylor for the way that he handled this crisis in this community with such a limited staff and such limited resources. When Columbia Gas was getting complaints about different things that were happening and residents were calling them, as all of you I'm sure know, they weren't being as responsive as they should have been. And who do you think they called when Columbia Gas wasn't responding? They called him. And he had, and a lot of us. But they first, reached out to the town manager and the town manager's office. And you had people that already had a full-time job, that already had all of their responsibilities, now having to play this entirely different role and do a job that was brand new and make sure that they were providing all services for the first time in the best possible manner to make sure that the residents were safe, that they were able to stay in their homes, and that we were able to move forward in this crisis together. It was an incredible opportunity that was out of disaster for him, his staff, the Board of Selectmen, the elected officials, the public safety officers, the residents, the advocates, everybody to pull together to show how great North Andover really is. So I just want to say that I'm so proud of this community, that underneath the leadership of Andrew Maylor, that everybody has proven how strong a community can really be with some great leadership at the helm. So thank you for the time that you have given us. We look forward to continuing our work with you, and we are truly going to miss you. Now we have our official citation from the State Senate that says, "Be it hereby known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Andrew Maylor, Town Manager, in recognition of your numerous years of dedicated and committed service to the town of North Andover. And be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends its best wishes for continued success, that this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate and attested to, and a copy thereof transmitted by the Clerk of the Senate, offered by your state delegation." Thank you so much.
From two people who are really glad that we're giving you this. From the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to Andrew Maylor. On behalf of the citizens of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I am pleased to confer upon you this governor's citation in recognition of your demonstrated service and commitment to the town of North Andover. please report to work at 5. This 13th day of February. By Charles D. Baker, I think you've heard of him, the Governor of the Commonwealth, and Karen E. Polito, the Lieutenant Governor of the Commonwealth, to someone who really, I think we'll see in the next few years, as history writes the story of what's happened here, will be seen nationally as the very good example of leadership under crisis. So, Andrew, congratulations. This way?
We'll miss you. You've done so many great things for North Andover, and I know you'll do plenty of great things for the state of Massachusetts. And we hope that we will continue to hear from you, and congratulations. You know that we have the town employees, the chair, and of course we don't know how much you know. Thank you very much.
Thought my cholesterol was improved. You know, this is really overwhelming. From my perspective, in the last couple of weeks especially, there's been, you know, way too many references to I as a references to me. We could not do everything we done. We really, I mean, I can sit here and provide the list, and I'm sure everybody will get really bored and probably will get a drink. But forget the list for a second. We have truly accomplished a great deal. And all that is because of the folks in this room and the people who are on the other side of the camera who may not be able to be here. It's all about we. Like, you just can't get things done. I may communicate what ultimately is the message, but the message comes from within, and the message comes from the community, and the message comes from great leaders that we have in this room, like the Board of Selectmen, the previous Boards of Selectmen, fantastic employees, great support from the legislatures and other employees. We just could not have gotten those things done if it was about one person. It's about the whole group. And so from my perspective, although some of them have asked if this was a wake or a wedding, I couldn't really figure out. It's a wake. From my perspective, it's a celebration. It's a celebration because we have accomplished so much. We really have. We've gotten so much done. And I think the most important thing to me, one of the reasons this was, although a complicated decision in the end, one I was able to make, is I truly feel like the community's on a path, right? It's not the end of anything. It's the beginning of the next phase of a really great place. We have a lot of good things that are yet to come. They're in the pipeline. The ship is on course. I encourage those folks who are here every day, who do a fantastic job, keep it on course, right? We know the plan. You give me a plaque. We know the plan. We know those things exist. Keep it on course. You have all the fundamentals. You've got a wonderful community, a spirited place where people want to live, work, and play. Keep it on course and do the right thing. You have made, this has been the best professional experience of my life. And could not have done it, quite frankly, with some of the people in the room, my kids and wife, who listen to me when I get home. I'm making the assumption they listen to me when I get home. I do know they're there when I get home. I do know that I say
quiet boy.
quiet. Just for everything to work right, everybody has to be heading. My car's under repair, and that's the mechanic.
Sounds like it.
But I really mean it. It's everything. It's everybody working in the same direction. There is no one magic answer that makes things happen. Whether it's AAA bond rating, or the facilities plan, or what happens in the school. I mean, we reduced average classroom size by measurable amounts. It just doesn't happen in other communities. We're able to do that because we recognize that we're all trying to work together to collaborate for the same outcome. So you have all the tools, you have all the people in this room. One person's leaving, but you have 30,000 people and all the other people behind it to continue move in the right direction, and I have the ultimate confidence with all these folks in place that you will do that and do it really well. And I plan on coming back and visiting for some of those particularly important moments. The senior center is of particular importance to me, as is the recreation complex, and I certainly will come back and visit and see those things to a conclusion. And although I shouldn't make this promise, I will. I make the promise that every single road that was impacted with Columbia Gas will be repaid.